Hello, my name is Barbara Allen and welcome to Born to Win. My guest today, her name is Farashi Rose, who got to a very dark place in her life because of depression. Do you know that 350 million people suffer from depression? It's one of the second most disabling condition that most people have. Please welcome to the show, Farashi.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Farashi, a beautiful young lady like you. You look so gorgeous.
Thank you.
You've got a lovely figure. You've got hair that people would kill for. You look absolutely wonderful. You talk to me. Tell me about Farashi.
Well, I'm 24 years old. I live in South London with my parents, and I've got one brother and one sister. I'm the baby of the family. So there's a 9-year gap between my siblings. So I'm the youngest. So all my family, we all have a very strong bond. My siblings are very, very close. People say we're too close, but we're just very, very, very close. When we argue, it's a big argue, because obviously siblings, you know, rivalry and arguments. But other than that, we are quite close. I do get on my parents. So yeah.
Farashi, what was your upbringing like?
Upbringing was good. My dad was very strict. So
Where's Dad from?
Background from Jamaica. So
Right.
my grandparents are Jamaican.
So it's a typical, in some cases, like where I'm coming from, very strict father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very typical Jamaican background household, very strict. Had a good upbringing, had a good childhood. We would always go to Brockwell Park every summer. That was our park. That was like our little garden. We'd always be there, family picnics, everything. So I've literally been brought up in that park, basically. And yeah, my mum, she's very soft, she's very loving. So they kind of do balance out each other in a way. So in a way, yeah, had a strict upbringing, but in a way it kind of turned out good, I'll say.
Yeah. In terms of going back to because you mentioned strict.
Yeah.
Going back to strict, Mum was very easygoing,
Yeah.
and father was very strict. In terms of father, what sort of things that you weren't comfortable with? With regards to Dad.
His personality traits, well, because he's a Gemini, so I assume that they all have those kind of traits where they're good and then they're bad. Sometimes he would shout, quite aggressive. So that did have effect on us all.
So when you say shout, so if you did something wrong, would Dad just raise his voice?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so I know from my background, that's what we did in our family.
Yeah.
We just raised parents just raised their voice. My mum raised her voice. Dad raised his voice, and it was just the very sort of normal thing. But I think you're saying that it was something that affected you in a way.
It affected me tremendously.
How did it affect you?
It was just, I'm assuming it was just the words and how he would shout. Takes a toll on you after a while. You can't really be yourself in a way. You can't be true to yourself. You can't really be who you are in a fair that you get screamed at. So you kind of put that wall up, kind of not be yourself, suppress it all, and kind of be someone else.
So to be fair to Dad, he was a loving father.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he was a loving father, but one of the traits is shouting.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of picking up that he didn't understand how detrimental shouting would be to you and the effect it would have on you. What's the relationship with you and Dad now?
Well, now we're very close. He's literally my best friend. So I think gradually over time, I began to appreciate my parents more. and just accept him for who he is. Because that's just who he is. And I do love him a lot. And he does have his traits. Like, no one's perfect. We all have our traits. So we have our flaws. But unfortunately, the negative kind of overlapped his good traits. Because he's a good man. He's a good dad. He's never left us. He's always supporting us. He's been working hard. But unfortunately, that side kind of just...
I'm going to go back to the shouting, because I think that's really, really important. And you said it had an effect on you, because a lot of people, parents, without knowing, tend to shout at their children. And I know, working in schools for 13 years I worked in schools, that was something that we just couldn't do, shout at children. It was always about explaining things, because shouting is about letting off your frustration. And in terms, when you shout, you may also be saying derogatory words to your children and not even understand the detrimental impact it has. So for you, what did that make you feel?
Oh, that shattered every ounce of my confidence.
Really?
Shut me down completely.
But you're okay, but you're still attractive.
Yeah.
You know, you look really well, as I said. So when you say it shattered your confidence, how did it shatter your confidence? What do you...
I didn't feel that I was beautiful at all. I had a strong belief that I was ugly, and I would never look in the mirror. Oh, I would hate taking a picture of myself. I would hate going out, people to see. I was scared that people would see how I saw myself. So when I look in the mirror, I literally thought I was ugly. So I feared any kind of social interaction. I didn't want no one to look at me. That's why I didn't really talk that much. Because if I talk, they're going to look at me. And it's just a battling thing in my mind. Okay, you're ugly. Don't let anyone see you. And over time, it shattered every ounce of my confidence.
So Farashi, you would generally look yourself in the mirror and see somebody that really isn't there, because you're saying you saw yourself ugly. So in terms of seeing yourself ugly, you came to a very dark place. Farashi, what was that dark place?
Oh wow. So gradually, as time went on, the pain harbored so much in my heart. Literally harbored.
Of what?
Just feeling sad, low value. I didn't feel a sense of self-worth at all. That was completely gone. So gradually the pain kind of surfaced in my mind. So constantly I'll battle with my head, feeling that I'm not good enough, and the anxiety will roar up. So I know I was in college, and then we had an exam which I didn't study for. It was like a pre-mock exam. I should have studied, but I don't know why I didn't. Which is, I probably just fancied the guy and I didn't really study. But yeah, done the exam, I failed. I knew I was going to fail because I didn't revise for it. I was so gutted and devastated that I didn't pass the exam. And it's not like I didn't pass. All the pain, just in that moment, all the pain just came to the surface. All the pain that I had, that I just suppressed for years, just came up at that time. And I went home. I told my friends I was leaving college early. They was like, "What's wrong, Farashi?" I was like, "Nothing, I'm fine." But deep down, I was just shattered in all kind of pain in my heart.
Is that because you did a mock exam? And is it because you didn't revise for it, so that it reinforced that I'm no good, I'm horrible? But did you know you didn't pass?
I knew I was going to fail because I didn't revise. So it's one of them tests where you have to revise for it. And I didn't. I normally do, but this time I don't know why I didn't. So you're feeling really horrible, demoralized, because you didn't achieve what you should have achieved, which was revise. So that when you looked at the exam, you're kind of familiar with things. Okay. So I just felt no worth at all. I just walked, because where my college was in Notting Hill. So I took that overground train to the Jubilee line. So I had to get on the Victoria line to Brixton. And on that tube, when I was at the tube station, I was contemplating ending my life just there. So I planned it, I looked at the time, and I planned it with great detail. Whenever the tube will come out the tunnel, okay, this is the time it comes out, I'm standing here, it's going to take a certain amount of seconds for the tube to get to where I am, and then I'll plan it to jump. So I've done that at least like 4 times, just planning it so I get to that right stage. So it's a quick, instant death, which is quite sad looking back on it. So it was a time when the train was approaching. I thought, okay, this is my time. I just don't love myself at all. And even though I know people cared about me and loved me, in that point of time, I didn't feel that anyone would care, even though I know they would care. But I beat myself down to the core. I didn't even feel like the people that love me the most would even care. So I just told myself that they wouldn't, even though I know they did. So I took one step forward to the tube tracks. And I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. And I was so content with it. I was like, okay, I made a decision, that's what I'm going to do. And then as the train was approaching, I saw my mum's face and I just pushed myself back against the wall. And it was my mum's face and my archangels that were constantly protecting me, that literally, it's like I felt like someone just pushed me back.
So did you actually, at that stage there, did you actually feel something pushing you back?
I don't feel, my body was completely numb to the core. So I didn't have any strength to do that. So it was like my angels completely just pushed me back.
What makes you think they were angels?
It's definitely because I believe in God and I know that God's protected me. My angels are constantly there. So without those angels, I wouldn't be here today. Without seeing my mum's face, because we have such a close bond. I know if I'd done that, that would be it. Not even just for her, but for my whole family.
The Bible talks about guardian angels, having angels, and you seriously, honestly experience angels pushing you back and them allowing you just to see your mum's face at that time. What was your turning point?
So I got to a point where I just felt, well, so after I'd done that, went to my mum, went home and told her about it. She was the only one that I could kind of confide in, because I know she will always be there for me. So I told her, she was crying, she prayed for me, and then she referred me to the GP. And then I had just one session with the counsellor, and I didn't feel I needed to go to any more sessions. I didn't feel that I needed it.
Why did you think that you needed it?
I feel that person wasn't me. I feel like that is just not who I am as a person. That's just not me, and that's just not of God for me to do that. So I just thought, okay, that's not me. So I don't really feel that I need these sessions, because it's bringing back the past, which is gone. I can't bring it, I can't turn back the time. It's gone. So I have to learn from that. And from then, it took me a while, a long while. I was in desperate need to love myself. That's what all I prayed for in my journals.
Just going back. Just going back to you know, you've mentioned it a couple of times. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I'm sensing from you speaking, it doesn't sound as though it was you. It sounds as though it was a spiritual thing. And the Bible says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities in high places. And what I'm sensing is that persona, that spiritual persona, which is quite dark and demonic, had actually taken over you. And I'm also sensing it's a thing that had been going on for many years, just waiting for a chance to take you out. And that's my sense of what I'm picking up. And it's something that I'm sensing that had grown. It actually grown, just waiting for this chance. But God, and just the fact that He loves us so much and cherishes us so much that He sent His guardian angel to rescue you from this. So you're going back. Sorry to interrupt, but I just had to interact there. But your turning point.
Yeah.
You're saying that you wrote things down.
Yeah.
What were you writing down?
I wrote a lot in my
Farashi?
journals. Just for me to be happy and self-love. That's the two main things, happiness and self-love. So even though I was in a dark place and I just felt like there wasn't no light at the end of the tunnel at all. I didn't see no light. But I knew I had the faith that God would take me out of it. And that kind of gave me some hope, even though it took years.
So it was a process.
Yeah.
It was a process.
And I did trust the process. I knew, and I write in my journal, God, please grant me with self-love, happiness. Just grant me with the things that I need to fulfill my purpose. Because even though I want happiness and self-love, God knows what I need the most. I might not even know. So God, just give me what you feel that I need. I need, not what I want, what I need to fulfill my purpose. So I done a lot of that, and I visualized a lot how I want to be. I visualized how I looked. I visualized me smiling, looking good, feeling good, just having a bright aura. I visualized that a lot. And eventually that's what I got.
So wow, amazing. So what you visualized is what you got. So basically, if you can see it, you can receive it.
Most definitely.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So, Farashi, what's your desires? What's your dreams? Where are you going now?
Yeah. So my desires and my goals is to continue being how I am now. I know I still need healing. It's a process. So I feel that over the time, I will gradually get to a place where I'm healed, where I don't feel that, even though if I look back on the pain, I still get a sense of hurt. And I feel that I still need to heal from that. So I just want to fulfill my purpose on this earth. God brought me in this earth for a reason.
What's the reason?
My reason why I feel that I'm on this earth is to help other people and for them to see their true purpose. Because sometimes in life, we just need that person to push us to see how great we are. Because sometimes we don't know. We don't have the skills and the tools to identify who we are. So my mum, she was a person that helped me for that. She did. Her presence alone, she helped me a lot. God put her as a vessel. She's literally my angel in the physical form, because she helped me see my true beauty. And
I know you're pushing this forward in terms of, because I know that I went to a very good event that you had. It was called?
So our brand is Evolve, and the theme was the courage to love yourself.
The courage to love yourself. And you had an absolutely brilliant turnout. It was actually about women encouraging yourself. Thinking good about yourself and moving forward to reach your goal. Are you going to be doing more of those?
Oh, most definitely in the summer. Right now I'm planning a more of a confidence event for women.
Building confidence.
So that's the main thing that I feel that a lot of women suffer from. Confidence. You know, you want a slimmer stomach, you know, you want to look a certain way, but just to be confident in who we are as a person. And I feel that a lot of women always want to compare and they want to look differently. I think that's how women are generally, to be honest. We're never really happy and content. And just not even confident physically, but confidence in your presence, confidence speaking, confidence within yourself is a lot. Because without the confidence, it hindered me a lot.
That was a big thing that was actually missing though, wasn't it? What about the I know we were talking earlier, and you were saying about going into schools.
So that's what I'm working on now, going into schools, to primary schools, secondary schools and colleges, to do workshops for self-love and self-confidence. I feel that's what a lot of the young girls need now. Just someone to identify and help them to identify who they are. And look within themselves, because they're going to be times where they're going to meet guys or friends or family members that belittle them and knock them down to the core. But with these goals and these traits, they're going to know, okay, well, that person thinks that of me, but I know that I'm a good person. I know that I have good traits. I may not be perfect. I have flaws, but I'm beautiful inside and out.
But it's interesting how you say that, family members, and it's amazing how for you that's where it started from, in the home, the demoralizing. And I think for many people, having confident parents and nurturing and loving parents really does make a difference.
It does.
In the in one's self-esteem, in terms of bringing up children.
Yeah.
For those that are actually going through what you encountered, you know, remember, you didn't even really know until it got so desperate. And then in that desperate state of mind, you weren't even really present. What would you say to somebody out there that is going through that, Farashi? How would you encourage them? Look at the cameras there.
So what I would say, well, what's helped me get through is talk to someone that you trust, talk to someone that you can open up to, or even go to your GP and they can refer you to a counsellor, and write in your journal. And the major thing, the major key for me was, I've got a little gratitude jar where I put little things that I'm grateful for. So even when I was sad, in the darkest place I was in, I remember I went to the shop and I went to shop at my Oyster card and I had £5 on there. I thought, oh wow, I've got £5 on my Oyster card, even though it was something so minor. That literally made my day, the fact that I had £5 on my Oyster card. So just the little things. And the little things, when you write down the gratitude, you're bringing in positive energy, you're bringing in that positive vibe into your life, because you're writing down, you're having the gratitude for small things. Even you might get up for work on time. Your daughter might say they love you, or your son might give you a hug, or your boss might say, you know what, you're doing a good job. Just little things like that make a big difference. And it's a process, and it does take time. It doesn't work overnight. You're not gonna be happier overnight. It does take time. You just have to trust the process. And the final thing is the visualization. Visualize who you want to be. Visualize how you want to feel. Write that all down. I want to feel happy. I want to feel confident. I want to feel blessed. I want to feel loved. I want God to surround me with loving, positive people. That was very important for me, because I visualized when I was in the darkest point, and years later, that's come true. So that's three main things. So your journal, gratitude, having a little gratitude jar, and visualization. And prayer is very key. Very, very key. So just pray, have that connection with God, and just be vulnerable in the moment, and just be in an intimate space where it's just you and God, with that communication. So you can literally hear God's word. Because I think sometimes we go through so much things where we battle mentally, we can't fully hear what God is saying to us. So just meditate on the word and just pray, and you'll hear the word. Just clear your mind. You can only do what's best for you. This is your journey. And I know sometimes you feel that the depression is always going to be there. You're going to be sad forever. But if you just listen to my testimony, I've got out of it. And you can eventually you definitely will get out of it. It will always get better. Always, always, always. I can promise you that it will get better. You just take time.
So there you have it, viewers. Depression is a really serious thing, and it affects a lot of people today. Farashi was able to come out of her depression, and the three main points that I picked up from it is: talk to somebody. It could be your GP. Talk to somebody. They will refer you to a counsellor, and the counsellor will be non-judgmental, and whatever you say to them will be held in confidence. Also, she mentioned visualization, seeing where you want to be, seeing where you want to go, and eventually Farashi achieved it, so you will. And another one of the things I picked up was prayer. The power of prayer is so important, and having a gratitude journal, writing down all the things that you appreciate, because the more things you are able to appreciate, the more things God will give you. Thank you so much for watching, and if you are going through anything at all, it doesn't even have to be depression, but if you need somebody, please don't hesitate to call the numbers that will be put on the screen. And if you want to call in for even prayer or even counselling, please don't hesitate. There'll always be someone here to take your call. Thank you so much, Farashi. Thank you so much. I'm sure that you've really empowered people. You've given them knowledge to actually come out of the dark place that you were in. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you all very much for listening. And my name is Barbara Allen, and see you next week.